Hey guys, what is going on? It is your boy, and we are back with Sailor Moon Eternal, the movie part 2. Sorry guys that this one is so late. I don't do a script to, do my review of the movie because I want you guys to have my authentic, non robotic type self, even though I probably should do a script. But I don't, so that's why it took me a while. And then every time I get into watching Sailor Moon Eternal, I get emotional. This always happens with me with the original, Crystal, and now Eternal. So Naoko knows how to pull my emotional strings. That woman has a way with storytelling, and I love it. Okay, so to keep this one from being as long as the last one, let's just go ahead and get into it. So we start off where we left. Well, we start off in another, it's still the same time, but in a different part of the city. So we are getting we're getting the outer sailors, and we're seeing how they, adapted to life after, the whole Mistress Nine and Pharaoh 90 situation, and in season 3. So we're getting to see what happened to them. And what I do like about this is not like the original and Sailor. They didn't wait till Sailor Stars to bring the Outer Guardians back. They brought them back where they were supposed to come back in the second half of Sailor Moon Super S, but they waited to bring them back in Sailor Stars, and the first 6 episodes were about them, which I liked, but we didn't get no context of why they coming back. So in the movie they give us that. So they move out of the city during the 6 months that they had peace. Michiru, she went overseas to do her. She was playing overseas. You had Haruka. She was going on racing, and Setsuna. She was working in the I don't, well, was it a laboratory or was it observatory? I think it was an observatory. So they were leading normal lives. They're figuring that the fighting is over, and so they have one thing in common, and that is raising baby Hotaru. Now, remember, at the end of Super, Hotaru ended up being reborn because when she was, her development did not get, it got distorted by, being, by her being corrupted by Mistress Nine. So she never so she never really got a true a rebirth until now. So they're all going. So they're all going about their daily lives, and we're finding out what happened. So Michiru is out buying flowers. Her fans ends up coming up to her, looking, astonished to see her. Then Haruka comes up, and now they're figuring out if these two are married. So Setsuna is at home babysitting Hotaru. Hotaru is getting into everything that a child does. And I'm just like, oh my god. I would have been thrown Hotaru outside on her ass. But, so, they come home. And, Michiru is upset that her, good china are destroyed. Haruka is, they're pondering because it's like, on the way home, Hotaru wants to buy baby stuff, but Hotaru is out of. Michiru says Hotaru has outgrown all of that, so there's no way that she should be, in that. So Setsuna is well, she was sitting at the desk and she was pondering, going over what's been going on since the eclipse. So while she was there, she noticed that the eclipse was going on, and she ends up trying to go out to investigate. So she tries to transform, but she can't. So she doesn't know why she can't transform. So so as they go over trying to figure out what's going on with Hotaru. Hotaru wants to have fun, but she's got to do some violin classes with Michiru. So there's some children that comes over, and they're doing violin too. So when Hotaru's turn comes up, they're scared. So they're like, wait for it, wait for it. And when they do, when she starts playing, you see Pegasus, and the children get scared because they're like, why is this ghost horse always comes up? And then they're talking about the ghost girl. So Pegasus and the ghost girl, who we already know who it is, and Michiru already makes connection of who that is. So Hotaru goes and chasing after them, and she's wondering why the Pegasus. She said, "Why is the girl crying?" I know why, because the Pegasus is dead. Now Michiru makes notice that Hotaru can be energetic, fun, and caring, but there's times where she gets this cold stare and uncaring, and this unsettling feeling that she gets when Hotaru does that reminds her of Sailor Saturn. Now y'all know Sailor Saturn is the soldier of destruction and soldier of rebirth, and I love Sailor Saturn, and I was so mad that she did not get the representation that she needed in Sailor Stars in the original. But we're not going to talk about that. So let's move on. So the kids go home, and Hotaru and I was going to say Michiru. Haruka, while Michiru's in the kitchen cooking, she's pondering about how Hotaru is growing fast. And so they go into the bedroom where Haruka and Hotaru are doing this. She's channeling her abilities. Now Saturn is very powerful. She's not as powerful as Sailor Moon, but she's there. She's like close behind her, and she's and this is what I like that they kept a reference to in the original, where Hotaru made the whole entire solar system. And Haruka was using this to challenge her powers and hold her powers in check, because if she gets frustrated, she blows up everything. So they're looking at everything, and they notice how she developed the whole entire solar system, all the planets, all the stars. And there's 4 asteroids that are there that are in distress that she makes notice of. And then not only that, they see that it's a dark cloud over the moon and also over the earth. They're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Setsuna comes in, and she makes notice. She takes them into the kitchen, the living room area, and begins to tell them about what happened 6 months ago. Michiru makes notice of, yes, we know because it happened to us. I was over in Venice. Haruka was in Africa, and you was at the observatory. So we know that we cannot transform. So they're trying to figure out why can't they transform, and why they haven't been able to, protect the planet, because they know that something is coming. Hotaru is in the bathroom, she's getting ready to take a bath as the storm grows stronger. So she turns to the mirror, and she sees Sailor Saturn. And she's like, "Who are you?" And Sailor Saturn says, I am someone that is sleeping inside of you. It is time for you to wake up, because we have a new mission that we must deal with." And so Sailor Saturn she doesn't touch her like I liked in the original, but what she does is Hotaru gets into the bathtub, and she starts to see all these memories of what was going on in Crystal, where in season 3, where she's trying to remember what's going on. She's trying to get all these memories together. She's like, I remember everything. So she got all of her memories. So while the other 3 are in the living room, she comes out the bedroom. She comes out, and she's a lot older than she was when she went into the bathroom. So they are looking at her like, okay, are you? Because Haruka was like, Hotaru, are you who we think you are? So she comes out philosophical. What I love about her, she like talks in riddles, and she talks very philosophical, and giving very smart. So she's like, I am. She said, I have been reborn, but I'm not the person that I was the last time. And she said, even though, because if you read the manga, which I know some of you on my review channel have not, because most of you probably don't know about Sailor Moon. But if you do, then you know what I'm talking about. If you read the manga, in the manga, it was stated that the Outer Guardians and the Inner Guardians were never meant to work together. And that's technically what she was saying, that they were never supposed to work together. The Outer Guardians' duty was to protect the outer galaxy, to keep, outside forces from coming into the galaxy, where the Inner Guardians were always supposed to protect the princess. So she's telling them, now this is a new time and a new day. We, with the new life that the queen has given us, so we need to, use this life. So she said, thank you for guiding me, raising me, and bringing me, into fulfillment. So it's my turn to give you guys it's my turn to guide you all. So what she does is she brings forth her Sailor Crystal, and she also brings their Sailor Crystals. So once they take their Sailor Crystals, they were able to transform again. So now we get to where we left off, where Venus, Mercury, Mars, and Jupiter are tied up by the quartet. So the quartet are sending them into distress. Now Haruka, Michiru, Hotaru, and Setsuna, they come in, and they make these little comments about how hot it is, and they're trying to make a dramatic entrance. And Setsuna said it would be kind of good, but if it was hot. I mean, if it wasn't, she said this would have been really good, but it's fake. And so the other girls are looking like, Venus was like, is this? And so she was like, oh my goodness, could it be? And so they transform. They become, you got Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and Saturn, all transform. And I got so emotional doing this. I'm like, why am I crying? Oh my God, I was just like, why? So as they transform, Uranus uses world shaking. I love her world shaking. I kind of like the original better, but I do like the movie version. So she uses it to push, I think it was Pada and June back. So as they jumped back, on the other side of town, you got Chibiusa checking on Sailor Moon. So Sailor Saturn ends up touching the ground to communicate with her telepathically, and so her and Usagi hears this. So Chibiusa goes to the mirror and see that the other four guardians have returned. So as she sees they have returned, she gets the mirror. She transforms, and the mirror ends up going back to Michiru. So she ends up going into town while Usagi is coming behind her. So Michiru mirror appears to her, and she ends up using it against the tip, because she wanted the other four to see that it was a farce, but not before all four of them were fighting the quartet. They were fighting the quartet and pushing them back. So at this point, Venus, was asking why were they there? Why did they come back? And Uranus was like, "We're back because Sailor Saturn gave us visions of the prince and princesses in danger, so we had to reunite with you." So this is news to them because they did not know what was going on. So Venus said, "Well, we should tell Sailor Moon," and Mercury agreed, but Uranus was like, "You should tell her, but I don't think you can." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" So as they were trying to find out what she was saying, the quartet end up, well, at this point, Sailor Chibi Moon comes in. Now, Sailor Moon is right behind her, and they were on the Juban district, and Chibiusa was looking at how bad it was. So she ended up getting to the point where the Dark Moon Circus, headquarters were. So she gets there. Sailor Moon touches her on the back. This is right after Usagi and Mamoru meets up in the street. So they end up, meeting up with her. So they get to the part where they see Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and Saturn. And as they was watching, as they were, calling for them, Zirconia comes up, introduces herself, and end up taking putting a spell on Mamoru and Usagi, making them young. So as they fall to the ground, from the spell, Pegasus, which Helios, he comes in and he takes them to Elysium to try to keep them from dying, because the curse that was on them was actually killing them, from what Zirconia had said. So the other girls are standing around looking. So Chibi Moon, while the quartet left, Chibi Moon and Saturn end up leaving as well. So they going off running to try to save Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask. So Chibi Moon was like, she seems different, but I don't know. So she ends up saying, Sailor Saturn, I think she asked her, why are you here? She said, "You grown." And Sailor Saturn was like, "Yes, I had to grow so I can fulfill my duty." And then, because if you guys know, Sailor Saturn's duty is to destroy and reset. So if there becomes a point where she deems that the world needs to be reset, she would destroy everything. And in time, things will go back. Time will reset it, not reset, but it will be a new beginning. So that's what Chibi Moon is kind of scared of. But no, Sailor Saturn was like, "And I also grew so I can fight beside you," because remember, they became good friends, and I love their friendship. But the only thing that I was hoping they did not do was take Saturn and put her with Chibi Moon when she had her own team, because Saturn is basically Usagi's guardian. And she's a part of Usagi's, main core team. Chibi Moon needs her own, her own core team. Oh, we'll talk about that in a minute. So they go in and Saturn becomes a beast. Oh my God. She's throwing, the quartet are going after her. She throws a, silent wall. Then, she turns around and uses Silent Glaive Surprise, which she never uses that. In the original, they made Silent Glaive Surprise to be like a world-ending attack, almost like Death Reborn Revolution, which is the main attack that she should not use because that will destroy everything. But they made Silent Glaive Surprise